Hi everyone. For those that might not have been in class, I'm just going to do a quick run through of our in-class assignments. So you will find that in week 9 comps in class. Here's the assignment. Some resources in here. You'll find just a couple links. I think the best link that you will find for this project is the onboarding section. So this goes through exactly what a good engaging onboarding screens will look like. So before I get down into there, I'll just quickly review the brief. So it's called Take Off A, and it's a startup Canadian space travel agency looking to compete with SpaceX in the space industry. They want users to book trips using their mobile app. When users download the app, they want them to be presented with this onboarding screen that displays a walkthrough of the process required to book a trip to outer space. So I think we've all been, we're all familiar with downloading apps, and you see those screens, and lots of times it's just like, go here to do this, go here to do that, or walk you through like a brief introduction. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So they want it to include photos and illustrations on each screen, as well as a clear way for users to get to the next screen, see where they're in the process with a skip function, or see where they are in the process. They want a skip function. If they're familiar with the process and they just want to jump ahead, and a book now button that's predominantly displayed on each screen. They provided the text for the 4 steps and screens on the onboarding process. They want it to be very clear to the user what each step is, and with the use of appropriate font sizing, space, no pun intended, and graphics, as well as familiar, prominent, and usable interface elements. So the idea here is to create, to make 4 steps appear easy and efficient, so the users not only understands the process, but perceives it as simple and will want to go ahead and book. So they're looking for a very clean and professional design that will display Take Off A as a credible, trustworthy agency. So what do we need? Obviously, we need to read the brief carefully. This is a big thing that I would like to note. I think we're missing the mark on some of our assignments. We're missing a lot of those little elements. You need to take note that lots of times you'll see your rubric in there, and you'll know, oh boy, there's 5 marks that I could potentially lose if I don't have a pop-up, or 5 marks I could potentially lose if I don't have a summary. So being sure to read everything carefully. So choose a UI tool to work with. I would really like it if you guys could work in XD. I think it'll be very valuable to get yourself familiarized with it. You have all of those kits you can download sources from, etc. But if you're really struggling with it, you can also use another program. So choose a mobile screen size to work with. As we have reviewed in our other videos, for our wireframes, XD will provide that. So you can click on your little down arrow and you can choose the different phone sizes, screen sizes to work with. Using the supplied text below, you're creating 4 high fidelity comps for each screen. For direction on how your screen should look, you can Google onboarding UI. We can also take a look at this briefly, and I will show you a few examples shortly. Make sure to cover off everything the client's asking. So reviewing the brief and make sure we have everything. I have also outlined them again for you. So they want to include photos and illustrations on each screen. Obviously, if you choose photos, they should have a consistent look and feel across the screens. If you choose illustrations, same goes to that. A clear way for users to get to the next screen, so an arrow function. See where they are in the process. We'll review a couple examples in the resource that I passed on. A skip function. So this is where, this is if the user's already familiar with the process, they might want to just press that arrow. Again, perhaps an arrow function to, or an actual button that says skip to jump ahead. And a book now button to appear on all of them, because it's always good to have that solid call to action, that CTA, on every single screen. So its design is completely up to you. Should look clean, should still look professional, cool, modern. Any graphics you can use from stock websites, UI kits, etc. And then you're going to hand in a 5-page PDF with your finished comp. So that's a title page and your 4 screens. The 4 screens are outlined below. So again, you're just downloading the app. You're not actually designing an actual like account screen or anything like that. This is just the introductory app screens. So first screen, the text supplied is all here. Create your account with some subtext, choose a trip, subtext, make a date, subtext, and depart, subtext. So all of this text, obviously minus text screen for 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. The text in red is what should be included in the app. So you're going to hand that 5-page PDF in to obviously in the proper Dropbox. So you're marking 5 screens with client supplied content into present. Or sorry, that should say 4 screens. I'll edit that. The designs reflect the brief, quality of design, interactive elements, and visual clarity is very clear. So again, always feel free to use downloadable UI kits. There are some here depending on what you're using. If you're using XD, this is where you'll want to check out. You can download all sorts of different resources here, okay? So just to go through a couple onboarding examples, these are quite helpful. Just get that moved, just to get the idea. So this is what we're discussing in regards to an arrow to go to the next step and a skip function here. And then there's also a way to go back. What that one is missing is in our brief, we do want to see where we are in the process. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. This. So where you have those little dots, so you know exactly, okay, I'm on screen 2 and I'm on screen 3. This gives your viewer or your user a good idea as to how many steps are ahead. Are they going to have to click, next 100 times, or oh, okay, there's only 1 more to go, 2 more to go, etc. So here they have a skip button, an arrow button, a back button, shows the process. What we would have on here additional that this does not show would be a book now button. So again, just a few more visual examples. So skip, next, again, it can say next, it could maybe have an arrow. This shows where you are in the process. Same thing, this doesn't have a button, but it shows the process, shows next. So lots of really interesting examples. Lots of them are more illustrated based, but it's absolutely up to you folks to decide how you want that to look and feel. So I'm just going to show you a couple examples from the previous semester. So here's one. There's your account. So again, we've got book now. We can see where we are in the process. This also is our next function. And then we also have a skip function with a nice visual. So all those graphics look and feel and are cohesive. So just take note, this has 5 screens. You guys are doing 4 screens. Another example, great illustration, a skip function. There's all our text. Our next and our book now buttons look the same. Next could technically just be an arrow, but if you prefer them as 2 buttons, that's fine. And again, showing the process. Again, to note, this is showing 5 screens and we're only doing 4. I will also post these up online so you guys do have a quick reference to do these. Again, skip, there's our arrow, and there's our book now. This book now is a little bit small, so things like that to keep in mind for your viewers. This one has more photo based, but you can see still quite enticing, still nice to look at. A little more detail here. This probably, you don't need to actually show your calendar, but just for a visual look and feel would work. So take a look at, I'm gonna post those up online. This is due on March 12th, so that's the end of this week. So have a little fun with it. Chat with your friends. Let me know if you have any questions, okay?